Hey, Dad.
Daddy.
Daddy.
All right, guys, welcome back to your favorite dad podcast. I'm your host, Prince. And today's conversation, we got my dog, my brother, my kid's godfather, someone special to me, my dog, Sean.
My brother.
Always.
Thank you for having me.
Always. Today, we're going to dive in and get to really dive into what it means as far as someone who's raising a daughter, the joy, the unique, the princess treatment, all the things girl dad related. So today, we're going to start by, I want to ask you, like I ask everybody else, what does it mean being a dad?
Shoot. Being a dad can have a million adjectives to describe it. Being a dad, I think the first thing is showing up. You got to be present when being a dad. Being a dad could be being vulnerable, but also being tough. Being fearless, but also being fearful. Being strong-minded, strong-willed, but also being soft. Whether you have a boy or a girl, but especially with a daughter. I think being a dad means being Superman to your kids or kid, you know. Being a dad means learning. It's an everlasting cycle of learning and teaching. So just to sum it up, shoot, everything.
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 Everything is everything.
Word.
So you said being soft, like, but whether it's a boy or a girl, like, you got a daughter. So,
Yeah.
like, what type of side do that bring out in you?
Having a daughter definitely made me softer. Low key, I could be soft. I'm tough when I'm supposed to be, not when I don't need to be.
Mm-hmm.
But I've always been tough where and when I needed to be. When I say being softer, I mean being able to discipline without being too hard on them.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to give my daughter time to process her feelings when she's upset or she's sad or when she's angry, and me allowing her to do so and just being soft. Just my approach when parenting has to be a different way than if I think if I had a boy. But you know, when you got kids, they're still kids.
Absolutely.
So you do got to be gentle when doing things. And you know how the term gentle parenting,
Mm-hmm.
some people get that confused. Gentle parenting doesn't mean not disciplining your kids. Gentle parenting doesn't mean not being nice. Gentle parenting means being soft. Gentle parenting means being stern.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a difference between go do this before I whip you,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to make sure you go do what I just told you to do.
Absolutely. Some people get that confused with, I need to beat my kids behind.
Yeah.
Instead of like, okay, listen, let's separate this. All right, we're not doing this right now. You're going to do this. But then after you do this, you can continue doing whatever it is you was doing or whatever you wanted to do.
Exactly.
So when you first found out you was having a daughter, like, what was that feeling like?
I don't know. I was so excited. You know, as a guy, we always, you know, I think most guys want a boy to, you know, carry the throne,
Mm-hmm.
or their legacy, but she still is my legacy.
Absolutely.
For whatever reason, I felt like when I found out that I was having a baby before we knew the gender or anything, I felt like if it was anybody that was going to have a girl, it was going to be me. I don't know why. I felt like if it was anybody that was going to have a girl, it was going to be me. So when we did the gender reveal and it was a firework, and when I seen that it was pink, I just screamed. I was happy.
So like with having a girl, right? Did this shape like you know, like you see how the world is, like how it's so against black women, like and
Yeah.
everything that black women stand for, and like you know, we're us as black men, like we want to protect black women. Like how do
Yeah.
you like take that into society with raising a daughter now?
That's a good question. That's a really good question, because some things are not gonna be present now until she starts getting older. But
Hmm.
I have to still mold her in a way where she's demands her respect no matter what. In any room she walks in, just like I would if I was raising a boy to be a man. My morals still don't change as a man. I just have to instill those same morals in my daughter, um, in a different way. But I have to still instill um, respect, integrity. I feel like men got to be classy, but I feel like women have to be classier. Um, there's stereotypes between boys and girls, and I don't like to I don't like to act like they aren't there.
Yeah, the gender nudity of the like whatever's going on in the world right now. It's like, oh, men can't do this and
Yeah,
women can't do this.
yeah.
But why does it have to be a gender role behind everything that we do in society?
Everything that we do. But I also want my daughter to understand that they exist. She has to understand that they exist. And to be honest with you, there are certain things that she can and cannot do. Let me rephrase that. There are going to be certain things that she can do, but they might not be accepted by everyone. And she has to understand that too, because she's going to need to know how to maneuver in different rooms that she's in. Excuse me.
Absolutely. What traits or values do you try to like that you kind of what like you bought in yourself that you want to instill in your daughter, like what values that you stand for and stuff like that you want to transpire to your daughter?
All right. Back to kind of the last thing we just said. Number one is respect. You demand your respect, you give your respect everywhere you go. If you're disrespected, then there's a certain way to handle certain things. Cleanliness, I'm big on that. Whether that's hygiene or your space, and that goes back to respect. Respect your space. The same way I feel like a man needs to be groomed all the time, I feel like as a woman, you need to, just as a girl in general, make sure you are clean at all times. Make sure you look presentable. I'm not saying you have to have the most expensive things on, but make sure you have yourself put together before you step out this house. You know what I mean? Classiness is big for me. As she steps into womanhood, when she grows, just carry yourself with class and integrity, and make sure your character is top tier. That's big for me because I'm the same way. You don't have to say too much to make an impact. You don't need attention. And that's big nowadays. Attention. I feel like with the internet,
Yeah, a lot of attention seeking going on.
man, and it's disgusting. Like, I don't want her to be someone that looks for validation from all the wrong places.
On the internet at that.
Yeah, especially on the internet. I want her validation to come from the mirror.
But the
Yeah. And cool, if she wants validation from her parents, I get that. But the validation has to come from the mirror. And she'll understand that as she gets older, and I'm gonna make sure that I do my best to just instill all of that in her.
Yeah, because it's easy when you have your parents in your life and they're encouraging and they're showing you like the love and appreciation and showing you that you're beautiful. It's like, how do you not believe that you're not beautiful when you step out there and you're starting to become the person that you're going to be? So it's like if you're being told that from your parents, like, you know, I love you, or you're beautiful, or you're perfect, like that stuff is going to be instilled in you. So you're going to wake up feeling like that.
Yep.
And it's kind of hard to, when you become a teenager and you never heard it, to try to become it.
Yeah.
So that's where like I do see like it's like try to play devil's advocate, like the people that do seek attention from the media or whatever. It's like, well, maybe they never got the attention they needed growing up from the ones they love to feel validated.
Yep. I want her to have supreme confidence too.
Yeah, confidence is big.
Confidence is, you have to have supreme confidence,
especially in this world.
Yeah, especially as a black woman. And we know there's a difference between confidence and cockiness, or being I guess we could say stuck up, bougie, all of those words. Be confident, baby, that's all. Like,
Is there anything you had to like unlearn from your childhood that you didn't want to carry over into like your parenting?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the main thing that I have to unlearn, and I'm still working at it, was like yelling. Um, Shoot, my family's loud. My family yells to get their point across, and just growing as an adult, I learned how to communicate better. I've never been a big yeller, but my family is they everybody yells. Be honest with you, like
Yeah, that is true.
you know my grandma yells, man. But
Since we was kids.
right, but I'm unlearning that with my daughter. I don't want her to carry those habits. Um, Even if it's certain things like diet, I don't want her to carry certain habits that when it comes to like drinking juice and soda and stuff, like I'm way more conscious of it now as an adult. Like my daughter doesn't drink juice or soda. And honestly, she don't even want it or ask for it, which is great because it's like I don't have to fight her to not give her sweets. But I think it's because I stopped buying it. I don't drink juice or soda, so my daughter only wants water, which sometimes I'll be looking like, you sure you don't want a little bit of juice? Because I'll buy 100% juice.
Hmm.
She don't want it. That girl drinks water, and I'm just like, you know what?
Yeah, if she got a good habit, we're gonna
Yeah,
just
we're gonna
keep feeding
doing
it.
it. Yep.
Is there anybody in your family or like that you grew up around, like woman wise, that you said, okay, I wouldn't mind my daughter growing up and being like her or like her?
Absolutely. Starting with her mother. If her mother's her role model, it's perfect. Her grandmothers on either side, her aunts, and a lot of my girl cousins. But like when it comes to immediates, she's in good hands all around the board, and I don't ever really feel like I need to worry about who my daughter's looking up to because she has it right in her face every day.
Yeah, that's good. It makes it easier for you to know that, like, okay, like she can't come and be like, oh, I want to be like my dad. Like my dad's my role model. Like, yes, they can say that,
Mm,
but realistically, is, oh, my dad is out here doing this because that's what men are supposed to do.
yeah,
We're taught that men are supposed to be this way, women are supposed to be this way. But however, we don't raise our kids that way. We show
right.
them that everybody's equal. You feel me? Like
Yep,
you can do this, you can do whatever it is you put your mind to.
yep,
So I'm pretty sure it does make it easier for you raising a daughter, knowing that she has female role models that she can look after.
yep.
As far as like fear, like, is there anything that you fear, like raising your daughter in the world in the society that we're growing up in now?
Yeah. Honestly, a couple years ago, when I want to say I was like 15, my cousin Grayson had told me like he's just scared. And I'm like, what do you mean like you scared? And nigga, we ain't scared of nothing. Like, scared of what? Scared of who? And he's like, nah, like I'm just, ever since I had kids, like I'm scared. And I get it now because I'm scared of everything. Not for me, but for my daughter. I'm scared to not be here for her. I'm scared for her to go through traumatic situations. I'm scared of somebody trying to take advantage of her. Um, Sometimes I'm scared of not doing enough or not being enough, even though I try my best to do a great job. I think part of me being, just not just me. I think part of being a good parent is always feeling like you could do more. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's good that you have that mindset. Like, that you do. There is things that you do fear now, and it's all because of your daughter.
Yeah.
Like with me, like I always like I was just telling my wife, I'm like, growing up, I never really had fear. Like I wasn't scared to die. I wasn't scared of no man, no creation. It was, I was always scared of not knowing what real love was.
Mm,
Like I was scared to die without actually witnessing what it felt like to be loved.
to be loved, and
And
that's a
then
bar right there.
and then after having children,
Mm,
it was, I'm scared to die and leave the world early and they're not prepared to live without me. Like I need my sons to be able to go out in the world and be men before I leave the earth. Like I want to teach them what it's like to become a man and have to go out in the world on their own
yeah.
without me before I leave the earth. So I'm always like, dang, like I gotta be here to at least help them become men before I go.
Yeah, bro, that was deep, especially the first thing you said.
The love.
The love, like you scared to die before you really know what love is, because that's deeply rooted.
Yeah, love for me, I preach this to everybody. Like, love is precious. Like, love is something that it should be just genuine. It should, like, don't get me wrong. Sometimes it's not. Love isn't always genuine. There's phony love. There's love that is being done to manipulate for something else. But for me personally, like when I love somebody, bro, like I really love them. Like I'm emotionally invested in people. Like the people my small people that I have that I show love to and that I really love. That's why, like, whenever I talk on the phone with you, with Boogie, like, yo, bro, at the end of every conversation, I love you, because if it's one thing, if you wake up and you say, damn, my brother's gone, you're gonna know that I told you, like, I love you. You feel me?
Yeah.
And that's one thing. Like, I lost my brother, and I didn't get to tell him enough that I loved him. You feel me? So I take advantage of every moment of just showing, not only telling, but also showing. But I do believe that some people just need to hear it.
Yeah.
Because I'm one of those people who I honestly need to hear people tell me they love me.
Yeah.
Because you could show me you love me, and you might not be able to show me, because sometimes we're not actually around each other enough for you to actually show me that you love me. But if you tell me, like, yo, bro, I love you, it's like, it means the world to me, bro.
Yeah. And when I say I love you, I mean I love you, bro. Like, I mean what I say. I'm very intentional on the things that I say, especially when it comes to the people close to me. If most of the time, if I don't say anything, that's saying I'm not. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Sometimes less is more.
Word.
It's like, growing up the way we did is like, we was taught not to show your emotions, not to be vulnerable. Oh, you got to be tough. You got to be this. And so it's like, I try to change the dynamic now, and not only showing my kids, but even our peers. Like, I'm trying to show them, like, yo, bro, it's all right to be this type of person.
Yeah.
Like, even my younger brothers and sisters that's underneath me, like, they still make their mistakes, and you got to deal with the consequences. But sometimes I just be like, well, I hope they watching. I hope they seeing that I'm showing them there's a different way for us to live life, and we don't got to live life like the way we used to.
Yeah. Yeah. Shoot, to be honest with you, us growing up just being boys, you get joked on for showing love, being too soft. Shoot, being New Yorkers, we get joked on for showing love. You show too much love, yeah, you on his dick.
Yeah, you
like,
blazing.
Come on, bro. Like, I mean, we grown now, so it's a little bit different, but that could be deeply rooted in us too if we didn't break the cycle. And I feel like just at least our group of friends, we are breaking a lot of habits, a lot of the cycles that we grew up in and was raised on, a lot of the negativity we grew up around. And it's not always super bad things to where, oh, this person lost their life or something like that, but just everyday stuff. We're unlearning a lot of things that we kind of normalized as that. Everything was normalized for us. Like, it's not normal the way we grew up.
No, it's
like
not.
just being black in front of hood. A lot of things were just not normal. Like, I think of just being from the projects, how the projects are set up, how everything is kept. It's very similar to jail. And one thing, in like, projects in every state are different, but like New York projects are set up like jail. Bars on the windows, yelling outside, pissy hallways, fights, shootings, stabbings, or whatever the case may be, just violence. You know what I mean? Go outside, it's cops nonstop, literally cops on every corner, cops walking through the hood, sirens, lights. It's so normal to us that we don't see anything wrong with it. But getting older and living other places or just going other places is not normal.
Yeah, that's why, like, normal. Even
come desensitized, like, to a lot of stuff.
Even like growing up, like before we left Staten Island, like, just, it was so regular for to hear gunshots, like for me, but like that's not something I wanted for my kids.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there was times where I used to drop my Angie and the kids off at the door because I didn't want to walk for them from the block to our apartment door because ain't no telling what could transpire in that short period of time.
Right.
So at least if I'm walking back by myself, this is not nothing new to me. This is something I've been going through my whole life. But that's not something I ever wanted for my kids to be around.
Yeah. That's you being a protector too, though.
Exactly. Like, it was one time where we were sitting down in the living room, and me, Angie, and the boys is in the living room, and like 9 gunshots just start going off. And I think it just clicked in me like, nah, we got to get out of here.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not, this is not it.
Yeah, it's not
like,
it,
I can't allow them to grow up in this type of environment and for this to be their normal. Nah. If there was one piece of advice you could give to a kid that's, you know, just finding out that they're having a kid, or if there's just a dad out there who has a kid but just seeking advice on fatherhood and what it's like to be a dad, what would you tell them?
I like that question. It's not necessarily a question, but I'm gonna keep it simple because I got this piece of advice before I was a father. My big bro Haas told me, you know, when you become a dad, instead of buying 1 shirt, you buy 2 shirts. You take that figuratively. Yeah, literally too, but figuratively speaking, it's basically whenever you getting something for yourself, get something for your kid too. When you're doing something for yourself, make sure you think about your kid. When you outside, and can't be selfish. Your kid has to be on your mind at all times for whatever decisions you make. Because your decisions inside the home and outside the home are gonna affect your child, and that goes back to protection. So when we decide to be good men and protectors physically, we also have to be protectors when we're not physically there too. So advice wise, instead of buying 1 shirt, buy 2 shirts.
And that's it, guys. Until next week. Son, I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me, my brother.
Love.